Hmm.
Welcome, everybody, to the Somewhat Podcast Men. My name is Alex. Today, we are going to be talking about a very serious topic, the school shooting in Texas and mass shootings in general in the United States. Um, it's a pretty serious topic. We've done our research. I know it's been a while since we've come out, so we've done our research, we've done our due diligence. So I think we're ready to talk about this in an educated and respectful manner. So, Somewhat Podcast Men, locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. This is risque. And thank you for tuning in. Definitely a very relevant topic. It seems that mass shootings and school shootings in particular have become a too frequent occurrence in this country. Looking at the best database I found was called the Violence Project. I don't know if many people have heard about them or not, but this is a project that basically looked at all mass shootings from 1966 to 2019. So they collected data on all those shootings to try to see, what were some of the variables common in them, and also to try to identify what, if anything, can be done to try to reduce the chances that these individuals would go on down that pathway of violence. So that's one of the main data sets that I'll be referencing today.
Yeah. So we're gonna find that pretty interesting. Some of the data that we have. We're going to be looking at some data, some psychology, some politics. Also, I want to say, if you guys are missing Saint, he's on the call with us. He's on the podcast with us today. He's just chosen to take a back seat today and just kind of listen on in, and he'll join in if he feels he needs to. But he's here today. He's with us. He's listening. He's doing the technical stuff. So don't feel sad that you can't see him today. He's with us.
Yes, all the Saint fans must be despondent in deep depression right now when they
sadness, my man.
when they clicked on the link and they're like, "What the heck, man? Why
am I even watching this?" So turn it off.
Yeah. Yes. Our viewership is going to go down dramatically
from 21 to 10.
Dude, that's a 50% decrease.
That's a huge decrease, bro. No, when there's no saint, there's no I don't know what the right word is. When there's no saint, there's no amena. So
all right.
Yeah, let's get into the shooting topic. So what happened, Riz? Give me the details from the ground. What happened in Texas? What was going on?
So Texas, the most recent event that's garnered the sort of media attention is the shooting, the school shooting in Uvalde. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Uvalde, Texas, where 18-year-old perpetrator, and that's the other thing. We're not gonna name any of these people who committed these acts. We're going to call them perpetrators, and there's a reason for that, which we'll get into, by the way. So this 18-year-old perpetrator, he, as soon as he turned 18, he bought some firearms. He proceeded to first he shot his grandmother, and then he went to this elementary school where he was a former student, because elementary school and high school were linked together, right? And he proceeded to the other interesting aspect is that this school did have police officers on campus, by the way. So there was good guys with guns there, right? But the good guys with the guns were not able to.
They didn't do anything. They didn't do shit.
They were not.
So this guy who's I got several choice words for him. May he rot. May he rot in eternal hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody like this who does something like this, you would hope that they catch him alive and throw him in jail and let the prisoners do what they made to him. You know what I'm saying? Like a death penalty through lethal injection is not enough for a scumbag piece of garbage like this. You know what I'm saying? So like he, I try to always, play devil's advocate and put myself into someone's shoes to kind of understand what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But there's no way that a rational person can. This guy is a demon. He did something that normal people can't do. And so he shot his grandmother. He went into the school. He locked himself in the school. And then he proceeded to kill all those kids in the school while the Uvalde Police Department sat by, did absolutely nothing. They created a barrier, a quarantine around the school. They prevented parents from going in to get their kids. They actually threatened a mother who was talking about it with some type of crime. I can't remember what it was exactly. And they told her, you need to stop talking about this. We're going to charge you with a crime. And this is one of the mothers. If you see the videos, these parents were trying to push through the cops to get to their kids because the cops were just fucking standing around. And they stood around for quite some time until the Border Patrol agents came to the site, saw what was going on, and was like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you standing here? And the Border Patrol went in and killed the perpetrator. So, if the viewers and you, Rizk, are sensing some frustration in my voice, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Those police officers, those resource officers in that school are there for a reason. And I feel like more often or not, it's a retirement position. You send the cop that's about to get to retirement age. Okay, we'll put him there for the last 3 years of his, of his tenure. It's a safe place. He doesn't have to worry too much. And I think that's the wrong attitude.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think I think that police department is going to have to face a lot of questions in the days and weeks and months to come, for sure. I think there will be a lot of pressure on them. But let's look at the bigger picture, though. It seems that school shootings and mass shootings have become sort of expected in America, which is very unfortunate and sad to say. But what is it? It is disturbing, but why is it? And this is the question, right? This is the question. What is it about? What is happening in America that makes it such a frequent occurrence, right? That's the question.
All right, so let's get into like the main topic, right? Like the main reason a lot of people are saying that this is why it's happening, the availability of weapons. Do you feel that the availability of weapons is a cause to this mass shooting increase?
I think it's one factor for sure. The data is absolutely clear on that.
I would strongly disagree with you on this one.
All right. Well,
because guns have been available since forever here. People have always had weapons. They've always had firearms, and there's been a year after year, a decade after decade increase in mass shootings from the 50s till now. And there were the same amount of guns in the 50s than there is now. There's no difference. So
no, that's not true.
Why all of a sudden? Based on population.
Alex, that's not true.
Based on population percentage.
No.
Go ahead, tell me.
But anyways,
no, but you.
I disagree. I disagree.
Hold on. You said that it's not true that there's the same amount of guns in the 50s than now. So what's the numbers?
No, what are your numbers?
I asked you. Don't play tennis.
No. Don't put on.
Don't play tennis with me, bro.
No. What are your numbers?
We're not here to play ping pong.
Okay. First of all, before you, I'm gonna say that I'm not saying that guns cause it. Okay, I'm not saying that.
I'm looking.
I'm saying that.
I'm listening.
But I'm saying the availability is definitely one factor. Do you think it should be easy or hard for people to get access to objects which are designed to kill people? Answer me that.
Say that again.
Do you think it should be easy or hard for people to obtain objects whose sole purpose is to kill?
Well, I think we're getting into it's
a simple question.
Amendment rights. So
No. It's a simple question. Should it be like? Do you want it to be easy, or okay? Like, should it be as easy to get a gun as it is as easy to say like, uh, get a license to become a, airline like a pilot, for example?
yes,
I'm sorry.
yes,
It's not easy to get a license to become a pilot, by the way.
yeah, but it should be easier to get a gun than become a pilot.
Okay.
You should so like I'm a proponent of the Florida law. Okay.
Okay.
In order for you to purchase a firearm, you have to be 21 for certain firearms, not 18.
21. Okay.
Yes, in Florida, in the state of Florida, right? You are subject to the red flag laws. So if a court deems you unsafe to carry a firearm, you should be banned from it. The court can do that here in Florida, or in Florida. I'm not saying I'm in Florida. You have to take a training to have a concealed firearm. There should not be open carry, which is not available in the state of Florida. And there's a waiting period for you to get your firearm, and then you have to, when you purchase one, you have to get it under your name.
Okay. What's the waiting period?
There's some loopholes and stuff associated with that.
Yeah.
That are not state loopholes. These are federal loopholes. As in, if you were to sell me a weapon, I don't have to wait. I don't have to register or anything like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you purchase firearms from, say, like gun shows or private sellers or all there, I don't think.
Well, the gun show's a misnomer. It's because you'll go to a gun show and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a guy, you're a guy, I'm gonna sell you weapons. So they do it on a private selling, not a gun. The gun.
It's a private sale.
Sales. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a private sale. Yeah.
And like for the amount, and I did look it up. So guns were more readily available in 1950s than they are now. And percentage-wise, per capita, there were more guns in the 1950s than there is now, per capita. So let's say even there's 100% more guns than the 1950s. Let's say, for argument's sake, the mass shooting rate has gone up 46%, 46 times, 46 times from the 1950s to now. So perhaps for our discussion, so we can move on from this.
Yeah.
Perhaps the availability of weapons is a factor in mass shootings. Yeah. But I would say I strongly believe it's not the predominant factor.
Okay. Now, do you think that assault weapons, assault weapons were banned at one point in this country, right?
For a brief period of time.
Yeah. Do you think that should be a consideration?
I really haven't made my mind up about that yet. I do.
Okay, let me ask you: do you really need? Does a person really need an AK-47 to hunt a deer? Is it a sport at that point?
Well. Okay. So
or AR-15?
Okay, hold on. So.
No, I'm being genuinely serious.
This conversation, whether we agree people should have assault rifles or not.
Yeah.
There's two reasons why one should have an assault rifle, right? One reason is because you like cool shit.
Oh,
and you like to have cool shit. So you have cool shit. There's no reason for somebody to have a 600 horsepower Mustang, but people have it.
Yeah. But 600 horsepower Mustang can't kill 20 people within.
Sure, it can. If you drive it into a crowd, it'll kill 20 people. You know what I'm saying?
How often does that happen?
It's been happening more and more often now. So if you look at that,
let's just
no, dude,
man.
hold on.
No.
Like we're gonna get into this, right?
Yeah.
So the topic is mass shootings. So let's say
fair enough.
Mass killings.
Yeah.
If I encourage our guests to look up how many mass killings have happened from vehicles plowing into crowds in the United States. Look into that and see what percentage increase that has happened from 1980 to now. And you will find that there is a marketed increase in vehicular homicide with people driving their cars into crowds. So there's a bigger issue going on here, right? there's a bigger problem in the United States of people engaging in mass murder, mass suicide, mass killing.
Or just violence in general.
Well, I mean, like, there have been other times where there's been violence, but it's been targeted violence, like drug dealer violence, gang violence. That's targeted violence. That type of violence has a reason behind it, right?
Right.
Or like a vendetta, so to speak. You know, like one guy got beef with somebody else, there's a killing. You know, the second reason to have an assault rifle is how you view the Second Amendment, right? Was the Second Amendment set up for us to go hunting, or was the Second Amendment set up for the good citizens of the United States to protect themselves from a tyrannical government? So that's how you have to look at it. What is the Second Amendment for? So if you feel it's for, you know, the protection of leisure, then perhaps we have an argument that, you know, guns should be restricted for leisure. But if it's set, the Second Amendment was set for protection against a tyrannical government, then, you know, the limiting on firearms should be less. So,
but at the time, hold up a second now. At the time the Second Amendment was formulated, like, you know, over 300 years ago or whatnot, I think the wording was a well-regulated militia, correct?
And that Congress can create no laws. Yeah. Congress can create no laws.
But wait. Let me ask you.
Let's read the whole thing.
What does a well-regulated militia mean?
Okay, but let's read the whole thing. It says, for a well-regulated militia, and Congress may create no laws inhibiting the use or ownership of firearms.
But I think in the context of the well-regulated militia, correct?
Well, I'm not a law scholar, so we would have to get.
But that's where the debate is. That's where the debate is, though.
Yeah, well then you can have people debating, you know, like on either side of the case,
absolutely.
You know, like.
But I want to get we're getting into the weeds. I want to get to the bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right.
And I by the way, I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I believe that people should have the right to have firearms. I'm all for that. What I'm not for is I feel that the conversation in this country has been hijacked, and that you cannot have a sensible conversation. I mean, just look at me and you talking, honestly. Like, you kind of get defensive at times. I'm just being honest here. I mean, like, and we sort of like each other. So imagine if people who don't like each other try to have this conversation. So I think the bigger picture is that, like, you can't even have a sensible conversation because it's so polarized at this point in time in this country.
I would say that when having this conversation about why is there mass shootings, why is there mass violence, you know, the Democrats and the liberal side of the government and the country automatically point to gun ownership and gun use as the sole and exclusive reason for the shootings, for the mass violence.
And yes, which is wrong. They shouldn't do that.
Which is wrong, and if the data doesn't match, so like.
But you know what's equally wrong is when Republicans point to mental illness, which we'll get into, by the way.
And the data doesn't match.
Equally wrong.
So this can agree on that. This goes back to our conversation on propaganda, right? Yeah. The parties in the country right now, they pick the easiest talking point that they can find, and they rally behind it. So it's the guns, and gun. We have to ban all guns, which is going to do shit. Because the people who want guns are going to get guns. And the other side, the Republicans, are like, it's mental health, which is nonsense. It's not.
But by the way, no Democrats ever said want to ban all guns, by the way.
I'm saying
that's inaccurate.
There are people. Well, okay, fine. We want to ban certain types of guns. We want to make it more difficult for people to get guns.
The only thing that I've heard from, like, you know, like the politicians on the left, right?
We're really missing Saint on this topic.
The only things that I've heard mentioned has been like banning assault weapons, for example. I've heard that. There's been no talk about banning like handguns or rifles or
Well,
all
in
the
Canada,
other
in Canada, the president, their
yeah,
prime minister is trying to ban
assault weapons. I believe.
handguns.
Yeah.
They cannot
Well, let's-
sell or own or trade.
Well, let's not talk about Canada, but I'm just
Okay.
telling you what. Okay, and
Well,
the
but,
only other thing
in theory,
Yeah.
in New York City,
yeah,
it's impossible to purchase a firearm legally. I can go right now, Riz
Yeah.
K,
Yeah.
Riz K. I can go
Yeah.
to the hood right now
yeah,
in New York City
yeah,
and buy a handgun
yeah.
and use it in New York City right now, an
Mm,
illegal one. But I can't buy a legal one.
mm,
I can't do it legally. Illegally, I can do it now. I can take a
Right.
flight. I can land. I can take a cab to East New York, buy a gun, and I'm good.
Okay.
So let's move on
But,
from the
okay.
gun topic.
Yeah. I mean, let's kind of like try to take a bigger picture view, right? Because I think that conversation will be more fruitful and be more informative, and then give the listeners a chance to maybe learn some more information that they may not have known
Yeah.
before. So
we can have a show about gun regulation and all.
Yeah, that's right now. Let's just move forward from there.
Mhm.
So going back to that, the Violence Project, like I said, this is, by the way, if you Google the Violence Project, they have the database is publicly available, so anyone can access it. So you're free to dig deeper into the data that they collected and do your own research, right? And this is one thing we advocate for here, is that we want you guys to be well-informed citizens, right? To do your due diligence and not be craven to propaganda from one side or the other. So this Violence Project, they started in 2017, so it's relatively new. It's been going on for a few years. And like I said, they collected data looking at mass shootings from 1966 to 2019, right? So look at all the mass shootings in this country. I guess the first thing is, you have to have a definition of a mass shooting. And the most common definition is if 4 or more people were killed in one encounter, in one
Right.
event.
One sitting.
That's in
Yeah.
one setting, and that's their definition of a mass shooting, basically.
Okay.
And just some of the major points I'll sort of highlight, I guess, and then we can talk about this. But the trend has been increasing over time. I mean, I think no one is surprised by that.
Right.
The most common setting in which they take place is workplace settings.
Right.
So typically in a place like if a person was working in a supermarket or like some sort of restaurant or office, those
They
are
have
the
some
most
kind
common.
of personal beef or something.
Well, let's just sort of kind of go over the data, then we'll talk more about the motivation and the why.
What the hell? Where am I? Why am I in a different room? What's going on? I'm confused right now. Rizke, what happened?
Dude, you changed your clothes. Like, what?
I didn't change anything. I just showed up here somehow in my dining room.
And your background is different.
I don't know what happened, bro. What happened, Rizke? Please explain to the guests.